I'm starting this tour off with a little sneak peek of what it looks like on Thanksgiving, the end of November. You can see the bit of a disaster the shop is. There's a little bit more space in that my old bandsaw is gone, clears up some nice space over there, and the older original dust collector is gone. You see the new one is taking up a monster space, and there's boxes and there's just junk all over the place. So hopefully when I see the shop come December 1st, which this will lead right into, you'll see quite a difference. This is the before, and hopefully we'll see an after. I'm planning to spend Thanksgiving weekend in the shop. Hello again. It's now December 1st, so we're going to film the actual December shop tour. This is, I'm proud to say, the 12th shop tour of the month for this year. Last year I was doing shop tours of the month, and I think we only got to 10. Missed a couple months in the middle there. So this year we've actually gotten all 12 done. But I'm going to pick up where we left off just a brief moment ago. The holiday weekend is now over. So I'm starting here on the right hand side, where traditionally was a big pile of crap to go either on the treehouse or up in the attic, and my bandsaw. And you'll notice that both are gone. I've actually got my attic pile in the attic right now. Treehouse work, though I only worked on it for one day all summer, it's put off again until next spring, and I need to get my ass in gear and next spring actually finish it. It's not all that much to do left. But you'll also notice there's no bandsaw. I've sold my bandsaw to a good friend who I was shocked to find out didn't have a bandsaw, and I've got my new bandsaw coming on Thursday, so 3 days from now. So next shop tour, January 2015. See the new bandsaw. I'm sure you'll see it before then, but it'll be in at that point. But to go down, there is the step. I have referenced this step in many of the past videos, and if I back up again for a moment, you see sheetrock OSB. This section here used to be a doorway, and it used to go into what was the laundry room. It is no longer the laundry room. We took the doorway out. I access the shop always through this big old door over here. That's a project for another day. But this step has been here forever, and this step led into the house. So over the weekend, I decided it would be a quick project to take the step out. I'm about, a little over an hour into it. Maybe a little less than an hour, something like an hour. It's two sittings for roughly a half hour each. Drilled a whole bunch of holes with my hammer drill, and then started chiseling it apart. Now the chiseling is going much slower than I would have anticipated, so rather than take too much time and get too frustrated with this, I borrowed one of the bigger demo hammers from work, and I'll put this bad boy to use, and I'm hoping to break this up pretty quickly and get rid of this pile. And as I'm looking at this, I realize I have a third masonry chisel, which I brought to work today to regrind the edge on. Damned if I could tell you what I did with it. I hope it's sitting on my desk. Maybe it's in this box. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so now look down the shop and see the rest of the shop. The shop is fairly clean, though you wouldn't quite notice it right now. Sheet goods here, sheet goods on the table saw, some hardwood over there, and a little bit of sheet goods too. This is all stuff that was right there in the corner, and I pulled it out. I needed some plywood, so I've taken it out. I haven't yet put it back. These bins here on the table saw that's the new attic pile, because we'll see in a minute. I organized this wall. I did a little bit more organization to this wall, and I got all my toolboxes and stuff up off the floor, and I finally moved that 3-unit, that's all screwdrivers, different types of screwdrivers, and that whole big unit, see the little handle at the top, comes off the wall, and then the individual drawers slide out and you can carry the drawer around. Since I moved, I don't know that I've taken the whole unit anywhere, but I do occasionally take a drawer out because it's all one type of screwdriver and I go do something. So I'm reluctant to take my screwdrivers out of that. But that being said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take my screwdrivers out of it because it's a very inefficient use of wall space. And it is a little bit higher than that gap. So this top unit, this top red unit here, was down there. So I broke down, I moved that over, and I put the red units here. And I took these shelves, which used to end about there, and I extended them all the way to this cabinet. So that let me get my festival stuff on 2 instead of 3 of the shelves, and I won these other shelves to take all these bins, and these bins were in a pile there on top of that the one red one that was over there. All the bins were stacked on top of it. So I got all my bins up here, and I've got some of my bins out. But let me back up again. The shop's not that big. As I look at this, it's for the first time, and this may sound hard for many people to believe, but for the first time the shop is feeling a little claustrophobic. And I don't want to give up. What I want to do is keep all those things up higher so I have some space, because ultimately I'd like, I know this sounds far-fetched, I'd like an assembly bench here of some sort. And I plan to have plenty of storage underneath the bench, but I want a bit of countertop. I'm desperately short of countertop. My table saw serves as countertop. The outfeed table for the miter saw serves as countertop. The bench serves as countertop. Every once in a rare while, the joiner serves as countertop, but I really try not to do that. I want an assembly table, a small one. You know, nothing too big. It's got to fit against the wall. It's got to fit underneath some stuff. So I'm just still trying to minimize and fit more stuff. So I'm going higher, or not necessarily higher, but I'm not coming down lower. We'll put it that way. So I still have more reworking to do that. I put that in, and I stood back, and I said, "Oh, that's nice and neat," and it feels like too much. So we're going to thin the ranks here. I don't feel like building the cabinet right now, but I need to build a cabinet to put a lot of these sanders in, and I can, in one cabinet that's smaller than the footprint of all these cases, I can get a whole bunch of sanders in and get rid of these stupid cases. So that's on the list, is to get rid of most, if not all, of these Festool cases. But for now, they are what they are. So I'll keep coming through. That's a work in progress. This hose was coiling up on me, so I've got a little bit of weight on the bottom of it. I'm trying to just let it relax so that it doesn't keep twisting on itself. This is the packing material left over from the chair I mailed away. And this is the top to the shaker table I made maybe 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. I finally put a coat of finish on it. You can see the rest of the table there. I put a coat of finish on it for the Long Island Woodworkers show, and I was only able to get, I think, three coats of finish on it, which was just not enough. So here you can see the top is finally starting to look nice. I've lost track of how many coats the top has on it. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8. And I got a couple more. You can kind of see it there in the light, those little bit of pitting. So I want to get this glass smooth, so I'm going to put another coat on it tonight and then sand back and keep going back and forth and get this nice and smooth. But I was very disappointed with the way it looked when it went to the show, and now I'm quite pleased with it. It's got a little bit more work to do, but that top should be wonderful when we're done. There is Sal's clock. You can see that's the patch round 2 in. I was very unhappy with the patch the first time, so I ripped it out and redid the patch. I am tolerably satisfied with the patch now. I'm not in love with it, but there's the patch. You can subtly see the top and the bottom. It's not perfect. What this has taught me is I don't know that I'll ever take on a refinishing or repair job again. We talked with John Steffen on the podcast last week, and he does furniture restoration for a living, and the work he does is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and I have all the more admiration to him, because building furniture is challenging, and it's slow, and you break it down in tiny little steps, and no step is that hard, and you work your way through it, and you can learn to make furniture. Refinishing is an entirely different thing, and my hat is off to you, John. Well done on what you do. I don't want to ever do this again. But in any event, the clock is almost done, and I got to get that off the Sal soon. I've had it for almost a year. You can tell because I love working on it so much. There's just some more refinishing supplies. There's the table. The table only has 3 or 4 coats, but the table's looking great. That kind of see the gloss on that drawer front. The drawer front is smooth as glass. I'm not going to touch the table. I just took the table apart so I could get the top off it. And here is the new Cyclone. So the switch came in today. I have to put the switch on it, and then it's done. Right now the cord is just about 3 inches too short to plug in, and I didn't want to rewire the whole thing to then get the switch and rewire it again. So I've got a nice long 25-foot length of cord right there that is going to become the cord for it, and I've got, so that beast will be up and sucking fairly soon, and I'll have a video about it once I get it running. Then back here you've got the table that normally I throw outside for these videos, and I think it's going to go up in the attic pretty soon. It's a summertime thing because you can see in the shop it takes a bit of space, but in the driveway I would never give it up. There's the planer and the back corner. So that is the shop tour for December 2014. Thanks for watching, and I hope everybody had a great year, good production in your own shops, and I look forward to seeing what's in the shop next year. Keep busy.